Good evening.
Hello there.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Like the Way You Drink podcast. I am Tim Gillette, your co-host, along with my endearing and great partner here.
Gladys in Oregon. Welcome,
Yeah,
y'all.
it's like yeah, you are in a different world when it comes to what I think. Anyway, I'm looking for trying to get my banners up here. Anyway, uh, where are my banners? I can't get my right banners up there. Okay, let's just use this one.
While you do the
Anyway.
banner, I'm going to get a picture of this because I'm pretty excited about what we're doing today. Breakfast for dinner, but not just breakfast for dinner, but also just something different, something you'll be able to do, something you'll be able to appreciate, and something that I think is a little different and fun. So
it's kind of like a brunch. We got kind of like some brunch ideas.
yes. And today I will tell you, I did bring out this glass. So I ran a half marathon on Saturday. Mm-hmm. I had ran in early August, Bridge of the Gods. So you cross over from Washington State to Oregon State, or the state of Oregon, through the Bridge of the Gods. That is the name of the bridge. And so this time it was at the one end where you cross over. And so it's the Bridge of the Goddess. So this is the Goddess glass that they gave us. So it's a cute little one. And I thought, oh my goodness, I have got to bring that on the podcast and use it. And even though it's not a champagne flute, I still thought this was a cute glass that can be used. So don't always feel that you have to use it. And I got some pretty champagne.
I know I was going to bring my other champagne ones in, but I brought this one, the one glass one that you can tell is a champagne glass.
There you go. So you can do other than just the regular one, because I have some blue ones and I have the crystal ones that are just foo-foo, just really nice. But I decided to go a little different and smaller. So Hence why I have this. And then you're like going, wow, you got an array of different things on there. You might be looking at.
Let me get mine up over to the desk because I have two separate places, so I don't. I got Schramsberg, by the way, Brute.
Okay.
All right, they're on down on that.
Michelle, it's a Brute. This is from Washington State.
Yeah. And I did open mine because I tested my drink out earlier. So I got this wonderful little cap that we have, these little caps.
Oh, I love those, that pop close. And then you can always do the old school, which, oh my goodness, don't let them see you put in a teaspoon in there to keep it from the fuzz from leaving. But it does help temporarily. I'm telling you, it's helped when I don't have my good stopper, about 2, maybe 3 days, depending on how much is in there. But it holds. It really does. Just don't tell anybody.
So, and I had to go to my new liquor stores today because I'm hell and gone from Total Wine and More. Like where I'm at, there's not a Total Wine and More up here, but there is a lot of little ones. But I decided to start building relationships with the bigger ones. The two bigger ones up here are Goody and Specs.
Goody, love it. I love Specs.
And the reason I'm going to stick with that is because a lot of the stuff we do. And I was telling the guy at the store today is, it's combination. You and I are trying to get the same stuff.
Right.
And we're in two different states. So it makes it a little hard. So anyway, I went through the vodka aisles today, trying to find whipped cream or whipped vodka.
Okay.
All right. The first one I came by, because I was trying to find maybe some little one has it, right?
Nope.
The closest one I can come to a little like Texas whipped cream vodka, all right, is like a bottle of vodka. And I'm like, if it was regular vodka, yes, I'd get it and try it. But whipped cream vodka?
Yep. Nope. Nothing.
I'm not going to drink that much. So I want to get the smallest bottle I can find.
This was the smallest bottle I could find.
Yes. I went with the one that, when it comes to whipped cream vodka, this is the one everybody thinks of, right? I would never get Pinnacle vodka other than this. Truthfully, that's just honest. I'm not a Pinnacle vodka fan.
Yeah, right? I asked them, and they're like, "Well, there's this other one." I go, "Oh no!" I said, "You're looking at bottom shelf." I said, "I'm a little bit of a snob when it comes to my liquor." Yeah. I said, "I don't want a headache the next day." And so then they're like, "Well, there's the vanilla one." I said, "Yeah, well, it's still Pinnacle vanilla." And then the guy's like, I looked over, and he goes, "Oh yeah," and I'm like, "Smirnoff."
Yeah. I
So
wish
I
they
had
had the
some-
Smirnoff whipped one.
So this is out of New York, and it was Smirnoff, flavor. Smirnoff is okay. I can do Smirnoff vodka, but this was the smallest one. They didn't have anything smaller.
Mhm.
So I don't know what it's going to taste like. I don't know how sweet it is. I didn't bring the whipped cream to put on top of the drink on top of it because I'm like, this is going to be sweet enough.
I cheated. I got Ready Whip.
See, I make my own whipped cream. One of the friends ended up giving me the chargers for my my little container, and then I found out you don't use the vanilla, even if it's the liquid, not the extract, but just like the regular vanilla. You actually use the Tory, the ones that you use for coffee. That's the vanilla that you use to put into the flavoring of your heavy whipping cream when you're making your at home. So
yeah, I told Gwen I was going to get since she worked in a coffee shop the last couple of weeks, she learned to really appreciate that fresh made whipped cream. And I'm going to get I'm probably going to go on Amazon, order that kit to make that tonight.
Oh yeah, it's not that expensive. I think it's like between $30 to $40, depending on if you get the stainless steel. Mine's white, so I didn't go all out. And then it's cool because it's got different settings so that you can do the normal that everybody does, or you can make it a little bit thicker or flour. So you can do multiple things with the tips. And the charger, that's the only thing with the charger is that from the one that I'm using, one charger is not enough for the whole thing. You actually need two chargers.
Two chargers to make each
Yeah, at least mine did, because I thought that one charger would be enough for the whole can, and I ran out of it wasn't doing it, and so I thought that it was done, and there was still heavy whipping cream left. And remember to shake it. If you are making your home, you have to shake it before you serve it, but don't shake it too much because you're going to turn it into butter, and you don't want, sweet butter either.
Yeah, very, very true.
So today we have, you're probably all are thinking still, I'm thinking you still have vodka and you still have sparkling. What the hell? Well, we are making a vodka creamsicle mimosa along with, so I have
we're mixing the two things that go very good with orange juice.
Yep. And I have French toast made. I did make the French toast with the cinnamon swirl bread, bacon, that heavy thick.
You got bacon. I was going to get bacon. That is the one thing I forgot to write down on my list when I was at the store today.
So this was Johnsonville sausage, and this one was, I'm trying to think of, but I know that I bought this pack. It was on sale at Safeway. Digital coupons, gotta love them. Normally this 2-pound pack or I think it's 2 pounds, normally runs for about $17. I spent a whopping $5.71.
I got pancake mix. I made my own pancakes.
Nice.
Right. Now, here's where the tricky part gets in. I actually got just regular strawberry jam.
Good. Okay.
I do have maple syrup, but we said jam, so I'm trying to stick with what we said. This here is from one of those roadside places we get it. Strawberry rhubarb preserve.
Oh, yum.
So, but then, we did say fruit. I happen to have in my refrigerator some fresh blueberries.
Which I left.
I improvised to get some blueberry, just a little bit of blueberry pie filling.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So
let's go.
And of course, I've got whipped cream to go on my on my pancakes. And I made these made these in I made a small batch and just sat there and poured a whole stack of them.
Nice.
Little by little. I have one big one that I had on top, but I did all these small ones. But anyway.
Oh, those are so much fun. I always love doing that. Whenever opening a sparkling or a champagne bottle, make sure that you cover it. You want to protect, and you want to go away from your face and away from windows, anything that's going to break. And you twist the bottle, not the top. And that's the way that you open it. So here I'm holding it here, but I'm twisting the bottle. Oh, there it went. Oh, this. Ooh.
See, I opened mine earlier, so I wouldn't do that.
See, I love the that comes out. Yeah. So I will tell you this winery. They've been around since 1912, And
Okay.
oh, look at that. That is too cute. You need to get a picture of that and post it on the page.
I know. I don't have my desk set up for picture taking yet, but I will improvise with my phone here real quick.
There you go. There you go. So this particular wine comes from Woodinville, Washington. So it is fairly local to me. The first time I tried this sparkling or this brand of wine, if you will, was with a friend of mine that was stationed in the state of Washington, and on her way to Colorado, she was getting together with some friends. I got invited, got to spend a couple of days just going through different wineries in Washington state, and Chateau Ste. Michelle was one that was just a lot of fun. They are unique, and approachability is their philosophy. It's gotta be easy to drink. And this is one I've had their other sparkling. This is their brewed, which I've not tried yet. So this is going to be new to me, and I do want to try it before I mix. But their philosophy originally, the founding members, was that great wine only comes from Italy and California, and they wanted to disprove this. So that's why they started back in 1912, and so they were in an area that's like there's nothing there. Now there's some wineries out in the area, but they wanted to be different, and they wanted to do something that was very special, and that could compete against Italian and California wines. So that's how this got started. All right, so tell me about yours.
So the drink we're going to make again, I think you said it right. And I actually was looking up pull my notes back up here. It was called the Vodka Creamsicle Mimosa. Yeah, we should taste everything separately. I love that idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so, because this is gonna. Oh wow, this is nice. It's very citrusy, and it hits you right here. This is where I felt it. It was nice, and yeah, I like this.
That's a good. I didn't do any of that. Like I was going to do a little bit of just the vodka by itself too.
And I will tell you that even though there's two male head winemakers, David Rosenthal and Brian McKay, Kate Nelson is the vice president of winemaking. So we do have a female involved when it comes to the making of Chateau Ste. Michelle wine. So not just the sparklings, but just overall, which I think is pretty cool. So Smirnoff. So this is a whipped cream, and it is gluten-free. It has it in the back, gluten-free, because I have to tell you. Oh, wow. I can smell that.
You can smell the whipped cream when you open them.
Yep.
So, see, I actually am going with the mixture because it does say one part vodka, one part bubbly, and 2 parts orange juice. But I couldn't find my little mixer thing to make the mixtures. So I brought a measuring cup out of the kitchen.
Okay, there you go. I love your measuring cup. Love it.
Now, this is how we mix it. Now it's a well-mixed drink. But didn't get one of the things that said on there on the part was to have an orange slice. I don't have one.
And optional orange slice and whipped cream. And I thought, you know what? It just looks so
whipped cream. So
there you go. That's what it's supposed to look like.
So it is 1 part. I mean, this is how they do it, guys. 1 part of your whipped cream vodka, 2 parts of your orange juice, and then it's supposed to be topped with 1 part of your bubbly or your champagne. So, and yeah, I could not find my little mixer thing. So like she has there. It's still packed away somewhere. I'm sure I will find it and uncover it soon.
Yep, you've moved, so
yeah,
make a difference. With mimosas, it is always best if you are. See, I love pulp in my orange juice, I really do. But when I'm making mimosas, I prefer the no pulp. Or just something about the pulp in the glass that I don't care for when it comes to a mimosa.
Yeah.
Usually when I make my mimosas, because one of the places I go to, they like to pamper you. And so they will ask you if you're there for after hour service, you know, it's like, oh, are you going back to work? No, it's like, would you like a mimosa? Absolutely. And then they will actually ask for the percentages. So I'm like 3/4 sparkling, a fourth orange juice. I'm like, and they're all okay. So that was kind of nice that they do that. So if you go somewhere, make sure that they're making your mimosa the way that you want it.
Because there's not a set way that you actually have to have a mimosa. Have you noticed that?
No, absolutely not. There's times where I add a cherry to it because I just want a little bit of color in there. You can do a pineapple mimosa. You can do passion fruit, grapefruit. There's multiple things you can do. So in this case, this is our creamsicle. And because it is a little creamy, you know, your creamsicle, orange creamsicle sodas have that vanilla on the inside and then the orange on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
And this is sweet, just so that you know. Oh,
it is a very sweet drink.
Oh my goodness, this definitely, and here's the other thing. Use a brute.
Yes.
A brute is not as sweet in your sparkling. If you end up with an Asti or something that's not a brute, it's a sweeter sparkling, which you can drink without any orange juice or some orange juice. But if you want this drink to be super sweet because that's what you like, then don't go with a brute. For me, I don't like anything so super sweet, hence why I was struggling with this, but I had to try it. So I will find new recipes to use this that are not too sweet. But with the brute, it tones it down. It really does. And if you add the whipped cream, that's going to add just a little bit more sugar or sweetness to your drink. So I shouldn't say sugar, but sweetness to your drink. But it definitely tastes like a creamsicle ice cream bar.
It does.
I think another thing that I would do with this, I would put it in ice cube trays and freeze them.
Yes.
And that way you can put it when you're making a mimosa, you pop that in there. Let's say you don't have this or you don't want to use this for a gathering. You make your mimosas, you throw in one of the cubes that has that vodka in there, that whipped cream vodka, and it's just going to add a little something. They're going to wonder, what did you do to this? It is so good.
That's it. And now pre-mix it. All right, pre-mix the drink. All right, with the vodka and the whipped cream vodka. Don't just freeze just the
Oh yeah.
Don't freeze. Right. Try to freeze the individual parts. Mix all three together and freeze all three of them, and then just drop that in, and that will give you a hint of flavor in a regular mimosa. It won't dominate the flavor. It'll just give it a little twist to make people go, wait a minute, what'd you put in your mimosa, man? That's what it'll do.
And that is really nice. The other thing you can do is after it's in your trays, drizzle just a little bit of the juices from the maraschino cherries.
Oh,
so
yeah.
A little bit of color. And it'll just give it a little bit of depth, a little bit of color, a little bit of swirl, something fun. And then when you're going to serve it, you put it at the bottom of the glasses. So when people are looking at it, they're like, what's this? It's like, it's to keep it nice and chilled and not water down your drink. You do your sparkling, you do your orange juice, and then you let it just mellow in there and slightly melt, especially if it's a hot summer day. But the nice thing with this one, it is a brunch drink, so it can be any type of weather, really, because it is not overly cool. But if you have ice in there, or your version of ice cubes, it'll be very good. But it is very sippable. So my French toast, I made it with it's a cinnamon sugar loaf that I sliced up and made it. In my mix for this particular batter, I did egg, I did Fairlife milk. I added a little bit of the vanilla flavoring, not the extract, but actual vanilla, and cinnamon, and mixed it in, and did the mix of the cinnamon with the egg before I added the milk, because if you add it when the milk if you add the cinnamon after you've added the milk, it won't attach itself, and so it'll be floating. So if you want it to really mix well, beat your egg, add your cinnamon, beat it some more. Then you can add your vanilla and you can add your milk and then mix it up again. And add at that point, if you want a little bit more cinnamon, or when you're cooking it, add just a little bit of cinnamon, ground cinnamon, before you flip it or even after. I don't like using powdered sugar because it's just way too sweet, but you can do that. Just a little bit of powdered sugar right on top. This by itself, without any maple syrup, anything, went very well. It did not clash. I was expecting it to clash.
I would wonder though, because you think French toast and bacon together, I would wonder if a little bit of maple syrup really would be too sweet, or if it really would be a great accent to the, because you don't have whipped cream on yours, all right? So you're not.
Right. My thought is it would definitely make it sweeter, most definitely. But I think it definitely would also taste really well. But I think it would overpower because I like true maple syrup. It's delicious. I'm really glad
I only get true maple syrup.
Yeah, this is a sweet enough French toast for me because it is made with that sugar cinnamon swirl bread. So eating it without is perfectly okay for me.
Yeah, Sean, she's having French toast, which I'm sure you tasted, but I'm doing pancakes, Sean.
I made 3 and I left 2 for him and I brought 1. So I said, that one's mine. You don't touch that one. So that's half for breakfast, what I'm having for dinner.
Go, Sean. Aunt Jemima.
Yep.
No, look.
Mm-hmm. Mrs. Butterworth. Oh, here we go.
I'm having Aunt Jemima pancakes.
I have that in the car, actually. The mix, not the pancakes.
So, I did my second pancake. I have probably about 5 or 6 of them that because I just made a small batch up. All right, and just kept mixing until they were all gone. All right, so I did my second one with the strawberry jam.
Okay.
And I did add a little bit of the whipped cream to it. I gotta say the blueberry is a better accent. All right, but still the jams is what goes back. I couldn't imagine. I think using maple syrup would be an overpower of sweetness.
Yeah, definitely. Especially like with me, I don't care for anything too sweet.
Yeah.
Like a little bit, but not too much. The combination with the sausage and the French toast, I think, and I'm a bacon girl. I prefer bacon over sausage. But this, I think the sausage with this French toast and the drink goes very well together. Better than even the bacon, and I love bacon.
You know, that could be an episode sometime where we just do bacon and alcohol we mix with coffee.
Mm-hmm.
That could be a whole episode of this. But yeah, I wished I would have got bacon today because I was going to get bacon, maybe even get some sausage. Just to have more breakfast foods. But then as I thought for so many different things, like, really, we should do a brunch month where we actually do brunch and we do drinks we would have with brunch. All right. So we went out this weekend, I think Saturday night, we went up to this Prairie House restaurant up the street here and looked at the drink menu. I think Gwen got a Sauvignon Blanc. To go with her meal, which is something she has a lot. She loves the Sauvignon Blancs to go with a lot of her meals. But they had on the menu just a plain old fashioned. What did Tim get?
An old fashioned, maybe, possibly.
Yeah, I just love the old fashions. What can I say? So, I'm an old fashioned guy, if you can't tell.
So we had talked about moonshine, and I came across, with Sean, after my run and some trying to connect with each other, him going from Washington to Oregon and back to Washington to find me because I was on the Washington side. So we were across the river from each other on 2 different states. And so he had to pay $3 to cross the Bridge of the Gods, another $3 to come back. because I'm like, oh, I'm in Stevenson, Washington, not on the Oregon side. Sorry. So we went to this distillery, and they have corn whiskey because they cannot call it moonshine, but they have a moonshine old fashioned. So that is something that I'm like, ooh, I got to share with Tim. So that's something I owe you, Tim. I got to share it. And that'll be part of one of the podcasts or a month of moonshine that we do different things with moonshine. So I think that'll be a fun one to do.
Well, yeah, we're gonna have to do a month of moonshine if I ever get to it. It's funny because when we originally met, our talk was around the fact that you like whiskeys and I like moonshines.
Uh-huh. Moonshine and whiskey is what connected Tim and me over a year ago. So you never know. Have conversations, talk to people. Sometimes the things that have nothing to do with your immediate business can connect you in different ways that will help you in your business.
Yes.
But,
So now I mixed the strawberry rhubarb on the pancake.
with whipped cream on top.
Of course, I got to put whipped cream on top. So, and I'm still thirsting the one same drink. So,
That, I'm having another couple bites with bacon, and I really like that. That sweet and savory really balances out. And this is a sweet, but not too sweet. I truly think the brute tamed the drink. And I would have done 2 parts of sparkling to the 1 part, but I like the 1 part, 2 parts orange juice. I really like that combination.
I'm wondering if we put I'm wondering if we went because of the sweetness of the whipped cream vodka, the bite of the brute. If we went 2 part, 2 part, 2 part.
I would still add more orange juice to tone it.
No, 2 part orange juice, 2 of each. So it's even 2, 2, 2. I'm gonna try it here in a minute once I down this one.
I think I would still do 1 part of the. Because me, I don't like.
Do you think the vodka's gonna be? Hold on, I'm gonna. Well, see, because I have this wonderful
This
mix.
is what's going to happen, Tim. If you think it's too sweet, then you just put 1 part more.
I know.
Of the sparkling and 1 part more of the orange juice, and that'll balance it out.
Hold on, I'm gonna try the 2, 2, 2 type deal and see. So basically, all I'm doing is evening out because it was one alcohol, one champagne, and 1 orange juice. I'm basically evening it out.
It's 2 orange juice.
I know. Well, I'm basically evening it out to 2 orange juice. So it's 1, 1. Basically, it's 1, 1, 1. But I'm doing 2, 2, 2.
There you go.
Same concept. Of course, I got to pull my
whipped cream on top to give it a little bit more prettiness in there.
Now, all right, your color's still the same. Let's try your taste.
And
you get more champagne taste in it this time.
Really? I would have thought it would have been like the vodka would have been the one that would have overpowered.
Nah, it's interesting because your champagne started to overpower.
Wow. Mm-hmm. And it's probably because it's a brute.
Because you think about it, the orange and the vodka being a flavored vodka are both sweet.
Right.
You're getting the overpower by doing the combination said. You're getting the overpower of the orange sweet with the vanilla sweet, which by itself is an overpower itself.
Right. Definitely.
You take away the combination of the orange, it takes away and brings the bruteness. And the brute hits in an attack force. Now, hold on. I'm gonna go back to evening it out. like we said we can do, I can even out and play games with it. One piece at a time.
And that's what you do. You play with the drinks. What do you like? I will tell you that's one thing that Sean does is that he'll mix a drink because he's been a bartender in the past, in his past life. And then if there's something that as he tastes it, he goes, and then he'll add a little bit of this, a little bit of that until it's like, okay, I like it. So just adjust it. If you think, I don't like this, well, why don't you like it? Is it too sweet? Is it too tart? Is it, what's it missing? Did you put too much ice in it? What do you need to do to fix it? And just adjust it, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and then you'll get to what you like. Now, if you're adding more parts of the same, you have to remember, well, if I didn't like 2 parts of this, let me reduce that for the future. So that's the one thing you do have to remember.
I'm going to play now. Now, I put it back to normal. I'm going to play now. On this side, I'm going to add more vodka. And on the flip side, I'm going to add more brut.
Okay.
All right. And see what the differences are. So now I've gotten more vodka into it.
Did you separate it so that you had some of the same?
That overpowers on sweetness with the whipped cream. No, because I have a mixture cup that I just make it in a mixture cup different.
Okay.
So now I'm going to overpower with the brut.
And while you do that, we want to do a shout out to the Blonde Cook.
Blonde Cook, yep. She gave us this recipe today.
Yep, that was the Blonde Cook. So if you go to the Blonde Cook, BLONE cook.com, you will find this recipe. Just look up drink recipes and you will find this particular recipe. And again, play with it as you will.
Ooh.
And
all right.
And Amy, who did this recipe that she shared.
So I just tried doing it with more brut than I did, your vanilla vodka. No, it is a bad taste.
Really?
Yeah. So luckily I have something here. I have a waste cup I can dump this into because I am not drinking the rest of that.
And if you don't like what you've made, toss it.
Yes.
Usually it's sacrilegious to waste alcohol, but you know what? If you don't like it, it's going to make you sick.
Yes.
Don't worry about it. Just toss it. Start all over. You don't like it.
That's part of the experiment game. So
it's okay if you don't like something. When you go wine tasting, if you haven't gone wine tasting, they got a little bucket that if you don't like something, you just pour it out. I remember my friend Nina, many years ago, when she got me into wine tasting, we were doing tasting along the wine road in Sonoma, California. And we stopped by an additional stop that was not part of the wine road that they had been wanting to go because you had to make an appointment. It was very exclusive. And I didn't care for the wine. And I was like, okay, I don't care for this. And when the other ladies that have been wine tasting for years, when they're pouring it out, I'm like, okay, it is okay to pour it out. I poured it out. And I did find one that was pretty good. But I also at the time did not want to spend $85 back in 2000 for a bottle of wine. I was like, it's okay, but it's not $85 okay.
Yeah.
But just toss it. Okay.
Yeah, I have a 2000 on my wine rack. I have a big bottle, a large bottle from Charles Krug that I got in 2000.
Okay.
2010, 2011.
Okay.
All right. Charles Krug is like the oldest winery in Napa.
Wow. Okay.
All right.
I went to Sonoma quite a bit. Still haven't made it to Napa.
Well, we used to do an awful lot in Napa. So yeah, I'm going back to the original recipe of the drink is still perfectly done. So
I like this. A mimosa is, if you think, well, it's because you think that you don't like champagne, adding it with the whipped cream vodka, and just add a little bit more.
It swings it up. Yeah, if you don't like a regular mimosa, add this whipped cream vodka and it'll sweeten it up.
And not much. You don't need much. So if you're doing 2 parts of orange juice and 2 parts of this, and then you're doing 1 part brut and 1 part of the vodka, well then do 1 more part, which is a 1.5, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
So measure on this side versus that side, or just pour in just a little bit. Mix it, taste it, pour in just a little bit more. You don't have to pour the full amount. Just pour maybe half of this one. Maybe that half is enough for you. Play with it. It's all about experimenting and finding what you like. Because
that's what our whole show is based on, experimenting to find out what you like.
Because you got to like the way you drink, because if you don't, then why are you doing it? Just,
So I'm tasting the rest of my drink with just a plain old, nothing on it, pancake.
And the
saltiness and butteriness from the pancake. I cooked them in a little bit of butter, so everything goes good with butter.
Of course. Hello, butter. That's how I made these, in butter. I put like pure salted butter, and then made the first one, and then made all 3 in real butter.
Yeah.
And I think this one was also Tillamook butter. Tillamook is local to Oregon, but really there should be a difference in butter. I like Tillamook because when it goes on sale, I'm gonna.
Wasn't it last week that we were doing something, we were mentioning it, and someone said, it was the Tillamook cheese. Did someone mentioned last week that they thought we were just doing a cheese and wine plate?
Yep, and it was Tillamook cheese because it's Tillamook. It was on sale. Hello.
So I use the organic brand from Kroger for butter. All right, it's the Simple Truth organic brand butter is what we use. All right, and I have what I used is I didn't have a stick. I have like the spreadable butter. I just put a knife full in the pan to cook the first few, and then I cooked the rest of them without butter. I mean, I just used whatever butter was in there. I didn't keep adding butter. So
yeah, the spreadable. I love spreadable butter.
Yeah,
I
will eat pancakes with just butter alone. So to me, you take whipped cream. You take your real maple syrup and you add real butter to it. Oh my gosh, that is So there is something we used to do at Starbucks. By the way, I stopped by the Starbucks on the way back to my doctor's today. I stopped by the Starbucks that I helped open like 15 or 16 years ago.
Oh, fun. Okay.
Open this store. And I found pictures of the staff, all of us who worked at that store to open it. We had pictures in front of the store and inside of this thing. So I stopped by with those pictures today to give them to the manager of the store. And I said, I don't know if you want them or not, but this is the staff who opened your store. Right?
Oh,
and they stunned like, yes, I'll take them, right? Because they were like, I thought that was interesting. But what we used to do, and I was talking about, because there's a microwave in the back of that store that I put there. I went and personally bought that microwave and put it in the back of the store.
Seriously?
So we had nothing to cook with at Starbucks. And at the time we opened that store, there was nothing around us. Like now there's a McDonald's there. All right. There's an Andy's Custard there. There's a Subway. There's a pizza place, a China. But when we worked there,
nothing.
There was nothing. You had to drive 2 miles to get food, right? It was just a shopping center, and the only thing open in the shopping center was Starbucks. So we bought the microwave so we could cook food, warm food up while we were there. And I left it there, and I says, the microwave still there? It's like, yeah, we always wondered what that microwave came from. I'm like, I went to Walmart one day and bought it, and I said, my gift to the store, it stays here. And they're like, we always wondered how that microwave got here. I'm like, you're looking at the guy who went and bought that for the store. Your gift.
Love it. Yeah, I have went to see a client, and I'm like, okay, what time are we going to come back to do the enrollment? And she's well, they usually take lunch at about 11:30 in the morning. That's fine because nobody goes anywhere. And it's like, well, that's because you're 5 miles from anything. Nobody's going to leave. They don't have time. When they have a half-hour lunch, who's going to leave? Nobody. It was probably more than 5 miles into town because they were out in the outskirts.
Yeah.
So if you're in the outskirts, nobody's going anywhere. It's a captured audience. They got to deal with me going home. So you're rolling.
So yeah, and I worked at that store. That was before Starbucks had the ovens that cooked things.
Yeah. I love that.
So what we used to do was, they used to have this little cinnamon bun thing.
Okay.
Right, and we used to get butter pats and cinnamon and melt them in the microwave, and we would stir them so we would have cinnamon butter.
Nice.
And then we would melt it over that cinnamon bun and eat it.
Oh.
All right. And everybody was like, oh my God, that's so good. I'm like, yeah. And it was like, those little secrets we learned to do at Starbucks are creative cooking 101. Because you had a microwave, all right. You had nothing to heat it on, and you had a blender to cook things in, and you had coffee and hot water. So
be creative.
You had to be creative if you wanted to eat at Starbucks, right? If you worked an 8-hour shift because you were stuck there for a long time. But that was the most creative thing we did we actually, some of us went and got these little bowls we put in, and we'd melt the butter and cinnamon, and we would, with a stir stick, a Starbucks stir stick, we would stir it to make it a nice, even consistency.
Right. Well, did you then put whipped cream on it too?
No. Okay, but I will tell you this about whipped cream, all right? I can't say 100% for sure, but Starbucks encouraged us as baristas to submit things, to be creative and submit things for drinks.
Okay.
My old roommate, Janie, and I, we were both shift managers at one store, and we were there one night, and we said, we put vanilla in the whipped cream. Why don't we just try putting chocolate in it and see what it tastes like?
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Well, we submitted it and said, "What have you ever thought about putting chocolate whipped cream on a drink?" And a year later, Starbucks introduced a drink with chocolate whipped cream. Yep. So we also come up with the idea of doing the vanilla in the whipped cream when we're mixing it and pour in a shot of espresso.
Oh.
Espresso whipped cream. Mm-hmm. Good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, you got to be creative. You got to find new ways of doing things or different ways of doing things. You know what? If it works, great. If it doesn't, that's okay.
You just experiment. Yeah. I knew my brother, when we were teenagers, my brother would mix stuff in the kitchen and oh, this doesn't taste good. So he'd dump it all in the trash. Quick, let's take the trash out and clean up the dishes before mom gets home. And my brother is a damn good cook because he experimented a lot.
Yeah, I love experimenting. Actually, I think Sean likes to experiment more than I do. But at work, when I was in corporate America and I had teams, the job was to learn the job. And once you learn the job, you question why you're doing the job and how you're doing the job. And they were allowed to try new things. And so they would experiment. And they would try to do something differently to make life easier for everybody else. If it worked, great. We implemented it, changed our procedures, moved on. If it didn't work, then we fixed it. We apologized, and then we went back to the old way, and then we moved on.
Yeah.
But that's the way that we process improved. Process improvement, doing things differently, is all about experimenting. How will this turn out if I do this? You could do it with food, and you could do it at work. Try things differently, because if you don't try, how are you going to know that you can't do it a different way? Listen to your new people. If somebody new comes in, listen, what are their ideas?
Speaking of trying, because I'm not going to drink my champagne when Gwen's not here and she's gone for a week.
Okay.
I put the cap on the Schramsberg, capped off. I'm going to put it in the refrigerator. I will taste it on next week's show to let you know if it's still doing good, because it'll be in the refrigerator still.
Nice. Well, one thing that I want to show off, because I got these this weekend and I was going to put them to show off the entire time and I forgot, but I got to show off these beauties. I did not grow them because I do not have a green thumb. If anything, I think I've mentioned that I've killed a mint before, but are these not beautiful?
Yeah. Did Sean get those for you?
Oh no, he's pretty good at giving me flowers. These did not come from him. His niece grew all of these flowers, and we were there this weekend. And she said, "Take flowers, And there's some wildflowers in there. And then she pulled some that she had picked the day before. She put them in there. One great idea when you're giving a little gift, if you are putting it together. This is a plastic, it's nothing major. But then what she did is she put tape across to help them not topple over. So I will be doing that in the future on a glass vase. So if you have a glass vase,
cool.
Some wildflowers, put them together. These make a great gift. Just thought I'd throw in another idea for y'all, for gift ideas, or just because. Why the heck not? So these
why
are
not? So Robin actually typed this in the question. Tim, what's that champagne cap? All right. This is a cap, Robin. We got these at Mom and Napa because that's the first time we ever seen them where they use them at Mom and Napa. But you can look through your wine stores and stuff and find them. They're a cap that splits like this, all right, and you just put it down in the center, and your little rim here will catch it, and you just push it down over it and push them in, and it's sealed, and it keeps it fresh.
So mine, the first one I ever came across was at Chateau Saint Michel. Mine is more flat, and it does the same thing, but it doesn't come up as much. It just comes and then it snaps down. I left it at home, so I will need to get it. But it does the same thing where it holds all the bubbles in order for them to maintain, so that you can open up in 2, 3, 4 days. And in this case, it'll be 7 days. And when you open it, it'll have that same pop when you open it.
Yeah.
And
if you noticed, I put it in there earlier today, and if you heard it when I took it off today, it went pop.
It did.
So yeah.
Yeah, mine is too thick. I can't put this in the meantime, but usually I put in a spoon if I don't have it with me immediately, so that it'll save. But I have a one in the cupboard here. I'll get it. But when I get home, I will. It's gonna drive home.
What is the longest? Let me ask you this: what is the longest you've ever kept champagne and be able to pull it out, and it still had a taste to it?
Probably around 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, but once I popped it at that time, I'm not going to reseal it. It flattens out at that point because it's too long. But because I hadn't opened it, it held it for.
Yeah. Once you want to know, if you have it more than 4 days and you pop it, finish it off. Then don't recap it.
Yeah.
Several times. No, you recap it and keep it. No, one time when you pop it, that second time, finish it off. Yep. Champagne does not keep if you redo that more than twice. Right. Now, if I did it today because of the fact that like I'm doing it one time, all right, is different because it's on 1 day's time frame. Right. But if I pop that, I did that again tomorrow and the day after and the day after. By day 3, it'd be flat.
Yep. Every time you open it,
it takes the bubbles out every time. So yeah, you do that one time and then you pop it out. And when you pop it the second time, you finish the bottle off.
Yep. So I will have to ask, so did you like the Pinnacle? Because I like this Smirnoff. That was actually.
I think I would rather try the Smirnoff, to tell you the truth, because I've had the Pinnacle. Okay. So the first time I ever had Pinnacle whipped cream vodka, I have a story.
Oh, you have tried it before.
I'm at a networking event in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Okay.
In a huge ballroom that's being held, right? And the makers of Pinnacle Vodka are doing samples. However, they don't have the liquor license permit inside of a casino to do samples.
Oops. Okay.
So, because they bought a booth in the event, but they didn't realize that they're serving liquor inside a casino. There's a no-no on that, right? So basically what they had to do was they had to put it, and they had to pull one of the bartenders. And Pinnacle, this is smart on Pinnacle's part, they bought one of the bartenders for the night, and they moved their stuff to the bar.
Oh.
And basically, because they had an in-room bar.
Okay.
And they pulled that way that kept them in compliance with the liquor licenses there, and it kept them in compliance with the hotel, because you actually start serving extra liquor at a hotel that you're having an event at. That's a whole other thing with the hotel.
Yeah,
the hotel's insurance goes off. So basically, they made this. So they basically went up and said, "Okay, we will pay to add the bartender, and we're paying for the bartender to serve our vodka."
There you go.
And that's where I actually tasted it for the first time. And it was a very unique thing because I was like, "What the hell, man? Why can't you just? You're just serving samples." And I'm like, "That's where I learned the laws, the insurance laws,
Uh-huh.
all right, and the catering rules, all in one day."
And that's why a lot of places, if you bring in your own bottle of wine, which a lot of restaurants will allow you to, they will charge you a corkage fee of anywhere between $25 to $45, sometimes $50, to open your bottle of wine. And they will pop it open. They have to open it and hand it back to you, but you are paying for that corkage fee.
Yeah. So
I know, that's quite interesting. But you know what? Having a bartender, his wages, however many hours it was, 4 hours, 5, 6, 8 hours, that was probably the smartest thing they could have done. Because if they would have not done it, that would have been a waste of time. Because if you don't taste what you're buying, you're probably not going to buy it, because you're going to go, I don't know if I like it or not. Am I going to spend the money? Probably not.
Well, I mean, I go down that vodka aisle today. You know how many vodka flavors there are?
A lot. There's like
I don't want to buy them to taste it. Like, this is probably going to sit until my daughter gets here or my kids. I'm probably never going to drink this. I bought it for the show to taste for today. Mm-hmm. It's just not something that's not in my regular
repertoire.
It's not not my regular taste buds.
Yep.
I like regular vodka, right? Yep. But that's
right now, Kettle One, they did their Kettle One botanicals. So if you've noticed, there's probably some advertising out there where Kettle One is saying, try our botanicals, try our strawberry flavor or lime flavor or grapefruit flavor, and they just pour it over ice. And of course, they're advertising to women during the summer to drink these botanical vodkas that are flavored in foo-foo glasses with ice during the summer. That's what they did. Yeah. So that's how they're positioning their flavored vodkas, is considering them botanicals, and it's something new and creative. Well, no, it's not new, but it's definitely creative the way that they are advertising it to us.
It's all in the marketing. Anyway, so this week's episode, we did pretty good finding a drink.
Yep. Thank you
for some good food.
Amy.
Huh?
We thank Amy, the blonde cook, for
Amy, the blonde. All right, theblondecook.com. So we want to give her a shout out today. All right. And
we got to Amy because of Rite Aid. So Rite Aid has some drinks. And as we're poking around Rite Aid, Rite Aid did email me a bunch of different drinks and said, hey, go to the website, find some drinks. So if you go to riteaid.com, there are some recipes out there with alcoholic drinks. And through poking around, we came across the blonde cook because they had taken a drink and they had modified it, and we got to her. And then we started poking around Amy's website, and we found this. So poke around, play around. You never know what you're going to find. So thank you, Amy. Thank you.
Maybe, just maybe, Gladys, we should put recipes on our website.
We need to start doing that, because a lot of times this is one that we took it straight off of.
We can't take credit for anything on this recipe. This is the blonde cook. This is Amy's recipe. It's not ours.
But sometimes we do adjust and we make our changes, and that's what Rite Aid and Bartlett Pharmacy did. There was some recipes that all they did was swap out a couple things or one thing, and they made it their own. We do that all the time, so we need to start doing that. But also want to thank the Stafford Liquor here in Wilsonville. Y'all helped me find what I needed. And then, of course, another was State Line Liquor, because you also helped me find something else. So those are my go-to, State Line and Stafford Liquor. Thank you. Appreciate y'all.
So my shout outs were to the gentleman at Goody Goody today. He basically said, Tim, if you're going to be doing this on a regular basis, coming here, why don't you sign up for I forget what their program's called, but I'm like, yep, might as well. You're going to be you're my closest big store. Might as well take it in. But Specs is the other one, which I'll go up to Specs. But we use Goody Goody today. Help me find this Pinnacle. Help me find a Schramberg, because I really wanted a good brute, and I was looking for California when it said it, because of the fact that I just thought, well, I'm going to do California.
There you go. Oh, and one shout out to Ashley. Thank you so much for all the flowers. These are awesome. They're on my desk, and we'll see how long they last. Probably a couple weeks. Hopefully
All
more.
right. So before we go, then a couple things we want to ask you to do. Please go subscribe to our YouTube channel. All right. Let me see if I can find the banner for our YouTube channel. I've made a link to get there in a roundabout way, and I don't have it on here anyway. But look for us on YouTube.
Cindy Lee, she is in California. I don't think the raffle has happened, so we're trying to reach 100 subscribers on YouTube. Yes. When we do, she is giving away a vacation. Yes. So make sure you go subscribe. Anybody that has subscribed from that mid-August to now until we hit 100 subscribers, one of you is going to get that vacation. Why not you? So subscribe, tell your friends to subscribe, and then have your friends take you on vacation if they've been that vacation. Thank you, Cindy Lee.
So, and our, if you haven't subscribed by now, all right, we're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, all right, and I think we're going to be on iHeartRadio this week. All right, it's going to be our newest one, Google Podcasts, things like that. So that's the audio version. We tweak it just a little bit, put on audio, all right, and a lot of you are already seeing this through our YouTube or through our Facebook page, which has been our first thing, all right. If you haven't subscribed to our Facebook page, please do that as well. So, we appreciate you guys. All right. Gladys and I bring this show to you every week. All right. Through our businesses. We just are sponsors of it. We're not here to sell you on our business, but we are in business. So, but we are in business. So if you need help, Gladys, tell them about your business and insurance and how you help them.
So I am in Oregon. I serve small businesses with less than 50 employees in Oregon, Washington, and California. Insurance by Design. You can find me at insurancedesignpros.com. You can check out what I do. And there is a link for 101 employee benefits for all budgets if you are interested in that and how I can help you. If you're in a different state, connect with me. Because if you have questions in a different state, guess what? I have connections with other brokers in other states. That's insurancedesignpros.com. Thank you.
Yeah.
Tim.
All right. My name is Tim Gillette. I help you with online marketing, creating content, and using content to build your business. Just like this show is, creating content to build your business. Oh, what an idea. Anyway, Simple Easy Events. That's simpleeasyevents.com. All right. We'll tell you about some of the stuff that we've got going on, and you can see how you can come and find out more about how to use content to create your online marketing plan. Anyway, Tim Gillette and
Gladys Bellwell.
We will see you guys next week with another Like the Way You Drink podcast. Take care, guys.
Bye.